April update. I went ahead and added some stale bread that we had no use for anymore. It was starting to turn a bit fungusy and moldy, and so it's about one whole loaf of bread from several pieces of bags. I went ahead and crushed up a little bit, as you can see. You can hear how toasty, stale that bread is. And this is kind of what it looks like, kind of dark. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to give you an update in about a week to see how much of this bread they finished. So all I got to do is just throw that on top of that. And that's about it. And then on the other net over here too, this is my second bin that I started with them. This is all goat poo. As you can see here, I mean, it used to be light brown and kind of like what the horse poop looked like. But if you can see through here now, it's starting to turn more brown and dark in certain spots. I am seeing a lot more worms, even though it's barely been roughly, 3 weeks. I can definitely see that maybe when I dump some of the other worms from over here into this bin, there might have been, worms, little egg worms. And so I guess they've already hatched, and I'm seeing a bunch of small worms everywhere. Like here's one right here. Let's see if you can see that. Oh no, I dropped him. Great, where did he go? Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Dang, man, I dropped him again. Alright, damn it. He really want to get away. Alright, there he is. See how small that one is? He's kind of a young one. When I dumped them all in there, I didn't see any small ones. I was looking just for the big ones. But, as you can see, there may have been a few smaller ones or eggs in there. And now they've hatched, and they're in there doing their job. Get back in there. Alright, throw them back in there. The one problem with this goat manure that I realized, the whole case is nothing but goat manure. It's roughly 18 gallons worth of goat manure. And the one bad thing that I noticed is it did heat up so fast. Within one day, when I put it in here, it was about 70 degrees. And within a couple of days, it went straight to 110 degrees. And obviously that worried me a lot, so I ended up having to spray this with water. Filled up this whole 1.5 gallon that I'm using here. I'm sorry, 1.25 gallon container. Filled it with water, and I just kept throwing water in here. That did drop down the temperature within a day down to 80 degrees. But once again, within a few more days, it got back up to 100 degrees. So I've been adding that container of water in here about 2 times a week, just to maintain the temperature down to below 100. On average, I managed to keep it somewhere between 80 and 95 probably. Let's see what the temperature is right now. Right now the temperature is 90 degrees. It's dropping down now because I took it out, but it is 90 degrees in there. And that's a decent temperature to have it in. But obviously at over 100 degrees, they are going to start to die, cook alive. So want to keep a watch on that. I am planning on filtering all this stuff to start getting some fertilizer out of here, out of both of these. I'm going to build me a device that's using a big bucket cut in half, and I'm going to put a 1/8 screen mesh around it, and it'll rotate basically, kind of like a barrel, just keep rotating to sift out all the fine particles of fertilizer that are ready to go, and leave behind the worms and anything that would be bigger than what I would need for this pile, and put everything back into their respective containers. I'm going to keep them separated because this goat poo is a test. I am liking, though, how it is going through it pretty fast. I mean, compared to the food bin over here, I mean, this has been working here since, January? And it's now April, so that's January, February, March, April, 4 months to get that consistency of fertilizer, while over here it took 3 weeks. Not true. This goat manure that I received was already maybe halfway composted, mixed in with a lot of, so you can see a lot of hay and grass clippings. So it was already halfway done. So maybe that's one thing to consider as to why it's going through so fast. But I'm going to try the same experiment with the third bucket using horse manure and see how fast I can get that composted or fertilized, or the worms go through it basically, to see how fast it can go through it. That'll probably later on, once I get these two completely finished. I'm going to take all my worms, figure out a way to put them onto one big pile, see how much they weigh, and if I'm thinking, I mean, I started off with about 1 pound of worms. It was a little bit less, but roughly a pound of worms that I started with, and whatever I have, when I finish this little project right here, I'm going to divide them into 3 sections, and then figure out how much, to put into each container. I'm going to have 3 containers, one for food, the vegetables and fruits and whatnot, and then one for goat manure, which my family friend can give me some more later on, and then a third one, which will be some more over here, which will be all horse manure. And then I'm going to do some kind of experiments, probably maybe grow one section of my fruits and vegetables using only compost over here from food, use another section from strictly goat manure, and a third one strictly from horse manure. Do some experiments if I can, assuming I don't get bored or have enough lose time in trying to do all this, but I will definitely try to do some experiments if possible, and then compare results as to what gives the better results. I'm guessing the food, because I'm putting back into the soil exactly what I need. I'm putting in there leftover fruits and vegetables, scraps that already have the nutrients that I would want my fruits and vegetables to have. So my best guess is this one would be the best choice. But we'll see. Although, of course, from what I heard, goat manure has the highest nitrogen, or one of the highest nitrogen, phosphorus, and phosphates that you would need. Alpaca or llama being number 1 for the best choice, but I'm not about to go buy alpaca poop. Although I can buy it online. I see some websites that do have it nearby in Dallas, actually. Craigslist has this 1 or 2 sellers in Allen, and I believe also in McKinney or somewhere up north that has them. But it's kind of expensive. I think it's like $10 for a 5 or 10 pound bag, and well, that's just not going to do. I mean, this right here is 18 gallons. This thing weighs a good, I would say, 40 to 80 pounds, probably around 40 or 50 on the low end. Because I mean, it's pretty heavy to pick up. So is that one. But once again, this is all for free. I'm just taking free materials here. Free goat poop, free food from leftovers. And of course, I can get the free horse manure online too. I did find chicken manure for free, but my wife does not like the smell of chicken manure. She barely allowed me to have the goat manure because goat manure also has a very strong odor. I guess when you think of foul-smelling farms, your best bet is probably you'll pass by a place that has goats, because goat poop does smell pretty bad. But once it starts to compost in here, the smell goes away. It now smells earthy. Not completely, but it's getting there. Horse manure, when I went to go get it, it did not have any smell whatsoever. I heard that cow manure also smells, but I can't get free cow manure. Actually, I can. I did find a place that had free cow manure, but it was all the way in Oak Cliff. I'm sorry, Fort Worth. And coming from Oak Cliff, well, that's not doesn't make any sense for me to go that far just to get free manure when the goat manure here gets delivered to me for free from our friend when he comes to visit us. And the horse manure is only 10 minutes south of where I live. So it doesn't make any sense for me to go an hour and a half westbound just to go get free cow manure. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this little update. I'll give you an update probably towards the end of the month and show you what this has come to look like after a whole month of having this. Let me look at this right here. As you can see here, I mean, it's starting to look like dirt, you know. I don't know if you can see that. But it is starting to look more and more like dirt and less like goat manure. Goat manure, at least I can show you a little one here. Gotta wash my hands afterwards, but if you can see that, that's kind of what it looks like. A bunch of little pellets. And this thing was full of pellets. I mean, you can see here, I mean, look at this. You really don't see much anymore. It's all starting to break down, starting to turn like dirt. So that's an indication that it's working. It's going to go good. Anyways, give you an update later on.